So tens of thousands of Afghan refugees fleeing Taliban control are arriving in the U.S. My next guest is helping them find safety and stability in Georgia. John Moeller Jr. is the president and CEO of Inspiritus, a resettlement agency working with Afghans in Atlanta and Savannah. He joins us now. John, so this seems like an overwhelming task. I mean, these people literally did not pack anything. They just ran for a U.S. plane. How do you start?
Edward, it's a scary thing to watch happen around the country and around the world, and in Afghanistan. Our hearts are hurting for these folks, but we have a 40-year record of responding to these kinds of crises around the globe and resettling refugees. We are the local affiliate of Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services, and we have been resettling Afghan refugees for 40 years, and we've literally resettled hundreds of them, 378 to be exact, here in Atlanta and in Savannah, and the Atlanta and Savannah communities.
But John, what do you tell them? I mean, what do you tell? They're literally lost everything. How do you talk to them? What do you tell them? What do you say?
Well, that's a great question, and we're fortunate to employ Afghan staff. Individuals and former refugees themselves, medical doctors who have come to the U.S. and now work on our team, and they know exactly what it's like to have to flee for your life. These former refugees themselves understand what it's like to arrive and have to learn a new language, a new culture, and have to start all over again. Our staff understand what it's like to have to leave a country, not because you want to, but because it's a matter of life and death. And so these staff are uniquely qualified to provide that long welcome and to meet those folks at the airport in some cases, but to just bring them in and wrap them up in community love.
And you know, something just struck me, and if you're watching this, how would I approach someone like this? What should I say to them to help this process for them if we see them out and about at the shopping mall, grocery store, whatever?
You know, that's exactly. It's just Atlanta and Savannah are the most welcoming communities. These are places where people come from around the world to settle. And so I think it's just a matter of that warm greeting, that warm welcome. And frankly, these folks are so grateful to reach safe shores, to reach safety. And universally, they're grateful. And I think we ought to express our gratitude to them. We're the grateful ones, right? I mean, these are the individuals who've paid a tremendous price helping and assisting our U.S. military forces. So it's our gratitude that we get to express that and to get to see them thrive here on American soil.
Do you keep them together in clusters so they speak the same language until they learn, the ones that don't know English, learn English?
Great question. So we want to see these folks have a nurturing, and Atlanta has that kind of community. We've got a huge Afghan community right here in Atlanta, and Savannah has the same kind of community. And those folks get to share common meals. They get to experience community with folks they recognize and might know from their prior life. But that's exactly what folks need to kind of get that good start.
How many people are you expecting to help?
Well, you know, we just received our first family this week, a family with 5 children, 4 daughters. So I'm a dad of daughters. I can't imagine going through what they've been through to get their entire family out. We're expecting literally dozens more in the coming weeks. These are typically large families, and these families do so well here in Atlanta and in Savannah. In fact, the families that we work with, particularly in Savannah, that resettlement site has a 100% self-sufficiency rate within 6 months. So these families are doing incredibly well. And in Atlanta, it's more than 90% within 6 months are completely self-sufficient.
So I'm curious, they've been through the vetting process already, but does your group also look for maybe some radical folks that may have infiltrated who actually need help?
You know, that's a great question. So we only work with Afghan refugees that have been approved by the federal government. So we don't get into the vetting process. We understand that the vetting process and the approval process is thorough. And in fact, we've done nothing but work with the most incredible individuals and families, former doctors, engineers, truck drivers, intelligence officers, and their families. So we're working with the cream of the crop.
John, some really great work that you're doing, and I know those folks need a lot of help. We're getting tens of thousands of them here in the U.S. as they run through this process here, and the community of Georgia, that's a perfect community for it. It's a great people that are there. John, I really appreciate you for coming on. Thank you.
Edward, we appreciate the opportunity to tell the story. These folks are heroes, and they deserve a hero's welcome here in the U.S. And thanks to our donors
John,
and supporters, we're giving it to them.
I got to leave it there. That's where the end. This is the end of the Labor Day, ending with a labor of love for those people who helped our military in Afghanistan. Neil will be back tomorrow. Let's enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. The 5 starts right now.